Welcome to Experiments in Happiness with Michelle Lemus, the podcast for high achieving women who've checked all the boxes but still feel something's missing.
Before we talk about confidence or self love or personal growth, I want to ask you something. When was the last time you did something brave without immediately criticizing yourself afterward? I used to think the goal was to silence my inner critic. You know the one. The voice that points out every flaw, every mistake, every moment you replay later and think, why did I say that? Or I should have handled that better. She's loud, persistent, extremely thorough. Honestly, if she ever decided to go into consulting, she'd make a fortune. For most of my life, I fought her. I tried to shut her up, outrun her, distract myself from her, negotiate with her, pretend she wasn't there. None of it worked. She always came back. And somehow she got louder. And that's when I realized something that changed everything. My inner critic wasn't trying to hurt me. She was trying to protect me. Wrong execution? Absolutely. But the motivation, safety was real. And once I saw that, I stopped fighting her. I started listening. We've been taught to think of the inner critic as an enemy, something to eliminate, conquer, silence. But here's the thing, no one tells you. Your inner critic isn't some evil voice inside you. She's a scared one. She's built from childhood experiences, cultural expectations, moments of embarrassment or rejection, early logic that once made sense. She formed when you were young, when staying safe mattered more than staying true. Her job? Avoid pain, avoid rejection, avoid judgment, avoid humiliation. That's it. She's not strategic. She's not current. She's not nuanced. She's using old data. It's like she's running your adult life from a binder labeled things that went wrong in 1994. And she thinks that binder is still relevant. Here's what I noticed when I tried to silence my inner critic. She escalated. Because from her perspective, something dangerous was happening and no one was listening. When you fight her, your nervous system hears, we are not safe. So she shouts. When you shame her, she panics. When you ignore her, she assumes the threat is real. That's why positive affirmations don't work when you're dysregulated. That's why just be confident feels insulting. That's why forcing self love feels fake. You can't overpower a protective system. You have to listen to it. This part matters, so I want to slow down here. Listening to your inner critic does not mean following her instructions. It doesn't mean shrinking. It doesn't mean staying small. It doesn't mean agreeing with her conclusions. It means acknowledging her presence. You can say, hey, I hear you. Thank you for trying to protect me. But I've got this now. Think of her like a dog barking at the window. She's not bad. She's alerting you. She just needs to know you're awake and in charge. When you acknowledge her, she relaxes. You become the adult in the room. Your inner critic often shows up first when something is new or uncertain. Are you sure you can handle this? What if you mess it up? People are going to judge you. Better stay quiet. Better stay small. It sounds harsh, but underneath it is a very simple fear. I don't want you to get hurt. That fear deserves compassion, not control. Once I stopped treating my inner critic like a bully, she softened. She stopped screaming. She became more of a messenger than a dictator, not because she was suddenly right, but because I stopped letting her drive. And that's the shift. She doesn't need to disappear. She needs a new role. Here are the practices that changed my relationship with her. 1. Give her a name. Mine has a very specific vibe. 1980s businesswoman, power blazer, shoulder pads, hair sprayed within an inch of its life. Naming her creates distance. She's a voice, not you. 2. Thank her for trying. Even when she's dramatic, her intention is protection. You don't need to agree, just acknowledge. 3. Ask what she's afraid of. This is the most powerful question. What is she trying to prevent? Rejection, embarrassment, disappointment, failure. There is always a reason. 4. Offer reassurance, not proof, not logic, not arguments, just steadiness. I can handle discomfort. I've survived worse. You can rest now. 5, give her a job. Inner critics are excellent editors. They are terrible creative partners. Let her review later, not during. She's not fired. She's reassigned. This is not about fixing yourself. It's about building trust. It's about building confidence. I used to think confidence meant fear disappearing. Now I know better. Confidence is moving forward with fear in the room. Your inner critic doesn't need to vanish. She just needs to know you're in charge. You're not trying to kill her. You're trying to lead. And when she feels seen, when she feels heard, she climbs into the back seat while you take the wheel. Remember, your inner critic was never your enemy. She was your earliest protector, doing her best with the information she had. Now you get to lead. Not perfectly, not fearlessly, but compassionately. And that's where happiness actually begins. Not in self-silencing, not in self-erasure, but in partnership with every part of you, even the critical ones.
Thanks for listening to Experiments in Happiness. You can find more tools and resources at experimentsinhappiness.com.